Long ago, in a land where the sky shimmered in shades of violet and lavender, there existed a hidden kingdom known as Amethysta. Its towers sparkled like crystals, its rivers glowed with soft purple light, and its forests whispered secrets carried by the wind. But this magical land was not always filled with light. Deep within the enchanted forest, far from the shining castle, lived a humble girl named Lyra. Lyra was not a princess. She lived in a small wooden cottage with her grandmother, surrounded by tall trees and glowing flowers. While others feared the forest, Lyra loved it. She would spend hours wandering through its quiet paths, listening to the hum of magic in the air. One evening, as the violet moon rose high above the treetops, Lyra noticed something unusual. A faint glow flickered between the trees. Curious, she followed it deeper into the forest than she had ever gone before. The air grew colder, the trees stood taller, and then she saw it, a floating crystal. It hovered silently in the air, glowing with a deep purple light. As Lyra stepped closer, the crystal pulsed, almost as if it were alive. Without thinking, she reached out. The moment her fingers touched the crystal, a surge of energy rushed through her body. The forest lit up, wind swirled around her, and suddenly a figure appeared before her. It was a fairy. Her wings shimmered like amethyst glass, and her eyes glowed with ancient wisdom. "You have been chosen," the fairy said softly. Lyra stepped back in shock. Chosen? For what? To restore the balance of magic. This world is in danger. The fairy explained that long ago, Amethysta had been protected by a powerful source of magic, the heart crystal, but it had been stolen by a dark sorceress who now hid deep within the shadow realm. Without it, the kingdom's magic was fading. The glowing crystal Lyra had touched was only a fragment of that lost power. And now, its magic had awakened within her. Lyra looked at her hands. They shimmered faintly with purple light. "I don't know how to use this," she said. "You will learn," the fairy answered, "but you must act quickly." Determined to help, Lyra agreed. Her journey began the very next morning. She traveled through forests that glowed beneath her feet, across rivers that reflected the violet sky, and over hills where the wind sang ancient songs. Days passed, then weeks. Along the way, Lyra discovered that her powers were growing stronger. She could create light, move objects, and even heal small wounds. But danger was never far behind. Creatures of shadow lurked in the darkness, watching, waiting. One night, as Lyra rested near a glowing lake, the ground trembled. From the mist emerged a massive creature, a dragon. Its scales shimmered with deep purple hues, and its eyes burned like stars. Lyra froze, but the dragon did not attack. Instead, it lowered its head, as if it recognized her. Slowly, Lyra stepped forward. She placed her hand against its scales. A warm glow spread between them. "You are the guardian," she whispered. From that moment on, the dragon became her companion. Together they traveled faster than the wind, flying above mountains, through glowing clouds, and toward the shadow realm. At last they reached it, a dark land where the sky was black and lightning flashed in violet streaks. At its center stood a towering crystal palace. Inside waited the sorceress. Lyra stepped forward. Her heart pounded. The dragon roared beside her. The palace doors opened, and the sorceress appeared. Her eyes glowed with dark purple fire. "So," she said coldly, "the chosen one has finally arrived." Lyra raised her hand. Light shimmered around her fingers. "I've come to take back the heart crystal." The sorceress laughed. "You are too late." With a wave of her hand, shadows erupted from the ground. They rushed toward Lyra. The dragon leapt into action, breathing violet flames. Lyra focused. She raised her hands. Light burst outward. The shadows vanished, but the sorceress was powerful. Dark magic clashed with light. The sky trembled. The ground cracked. The battle had begun. Again and again the sorceress attacked, and again Lyra stood her ground. Finally, the sorceress unleashed her strongest spell. A massive wave of dark energy surged forward. Lyra closed her eyes. She remembered the fairy's words. Balance. Not power, but balance. She reached deep within herself. The crystal's energy glowed brighter than ever before. Then she released it. A brilliant explosion of pure violet light filled the entire realm. The darkness shattered. The shadows disappeared. The sorceress screamed as her magic dissolved into nothingness. And then, silence. The heart crystal floated gently into Lyra's hands. Its light was warm, peaceful, alive. As she placed it back into the center of the palace, the entire world began to change. The dark sky faded. Light returned. The kingdom of Amethysta shone brighter than ever before. When Lyra returned home, she was no longer just a girl from the forest. She was a hero, a protector, the queen of the purple realm. And beside her stood the dragon, loyal and proud. From that day forward, the land remained in harmony. The skies glowed violet, the forests sang with magic, and Lyra ruled not with power, but with wisdom, courage, and heart. And so, in a world painted in shades of purple and light, they all lived happily ever after.